She said she'd never do that, then she did it twice in a week. I finally learned why. I still remember the first time I caught her. My heart didn't just drop. It slammed into the floor and shattered. I was standing in the hallway, frozen, clutching a mug of chamomile tea, when I saw her hand in his. My best friend Natalie, my boyfriend Aaron, sitting together on my couch like they belonged there. She said something, I couldn't hear what, and then she laughed. That laugh, the one she only ever used with me, and he looked at her like he used to look at me. I didn't even have the strength to walk in. I backed away, my whole body buzzing like it didn't belong to me. This was the same girl who just a few weeks earlier swore she could never betray someone like that. I remembered her words exactly. Going after your best friend's boyfriend? That's disgusting. I'd never even think about it. But here she was, and it wouldn't be the last time. I didn't sleep that night, not a single second. I lay there in bed, eyes locked on the ceiling, the streetlight casting pale orange stripes across my walls, while my mind replayed the scene like a cursed movie reel. That stupid mug of tea still sat cold on my nightstand. I could still feel the ceramic in my hand when I walked down that hallway and saw them. Natalie had her legs tucked under her, body angled toward Aaron like he was the sun she revolved around. Her fingers rested on his knee just lightly, too lightly, like it had become natural, comfortable. He didn't move away. He didn't look guilty. He just smiled. Not the half smile he gave me when he was annoyed or distracted. No, this was the real one. The one he used to give me when we were first falling in love. My stomach dropped, and this chill shot down my spine so fast I literally had to grab the wall to steady myself. I didn't confront them. I just turned around, walked back into my room like a ghost, and shut the door behind me without making a sound. For the rest of the night I lay there, not crying, not moving, just listening to every creak of the floorboards, every shift of the couch springs, trying to figure out if they kissed, or if they did worse. But there was nothing, just the unbearable silence of betrayal. At 2:16 a.m., I heard the door click shut. Natalie was gone, and Aaron never came to bed. The next morning I texted her like a damn fool. Hey, did you grab your charger okay? I think I passed out, haha. I still don't know why I did it. Maybe I needed her to lie to my face, just to confirm my gut wasn't wrong. She replied like clockwork. Yeah, you were totally knocked out, lol. Hope I didn't wake you. Love you. And the worst part? She put a little heart emoji at the end, like she hadn't just crushed mine under her boot. That's when it hit me, this wasn't an accident. This wasn't a moment of weakness. They were sneaking around, coordinated, careful, calculated, and I was the clueless idiot in the center of their little performance, still holding on to the belief that she would never do that. I couldn't just sit there and pretend like everything was fine. Not after what I saw. So the next day, Wednesday, I started paying attention. Really paying attention. You'd be amazed at what people reveal when they think no one's watching. First, I checked Aaron's phone while he was in the shower. I know, I never used to be that girl. But desperate hearts do desperate things. And besides, it wasn't love I felt anymore, it was survival. I scrolled through his messages, but of course there was nothing. Nothing obvious anyway. Then I checked his photo gallery, and my hand started shaking. Tucked between random memes and screenshots of his fantasy football scores, there was a selfie of Natalie. In my living room. Same hoodie she wore the night she came over. Same angle as if she were showing someone where she was, or proving it. It was time-stamped 8:52 p.m. Just 2 minutes after she said she'd swing by real quick to get her charger. My stomach turned, but I couldn't let him know I saw anything. So I slid the phone back on the nightstand like it was made of glass and played dumb. Then I turned my attention to Natalie. She'd been quiet that day. No texts, no memes, no random TikToks, not even a good morning be asterisk 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 asterisk, her usual thing. So I stalked her Instagram. Her story was blank, but then I noticed something weird. Aaron had like 3 of her old pictures the night before. And not just any photos, ones from 2 years ago. Bikini pics. Her birthday dinner. The one from that stupid cabin trip we took, the one I invited him to. He was scrolling through her profile while sitting next to me on the couch, telling me he was just reading emails. Something snapped in me right then. I knew I couldn't accuse them without more proof. They'd just gaslight me. call me paranoid, make me question my sanity. So I decided to test them, to set a little trap of my own. What I didn't expect was how quickly they'd fall into it. I set the trap on Friday night. Aaron told me he was going out with the guys to grab drinks, and Natalie? She claimed she had a self-care evening planned, face mask, wine, and Netflix. Perfect. So I waited until they were both busy, then shared my location in our group chat, which included both of them. But here's the twist, I spoofed it. Used a location app to make it look like I was at the movies across town watching some rom-com I'd never even heard of. I wanted them to think I was far away, unreachable, and most of all, unsuspecting. Then I parked down the street from Natalie's apartment. Engine off. Lights out. Heart pounding like I was in a spy movie. I felt like such a lunatic hiding behind my steering wheel, wrapped in a hoodie with my phone clutched like a weapon. For 45 minutes, nothing happened. I started second-guessing myself, thinking maybe I'd gone too far. Maybe this was all in my head. And then there he was, Aaron, pulling up in his car, getting out. No hesitation, no looking around. He walked up to Natalie's door like he'd done it 100 times before, like he belonged there. And then she opened the door. In pajama shorts and a tank top. No makeup. Hair up. Like she wasn't expecting anyone else. Like this was normal. They hugged. She grabbed his hand and pulled him inside. And the door closed behind them. I sat there in the car, my entire world unraveling in real time. I couldn't breathe. My fingers felt numb. My ears rang so loud I thought I might pass out. This wasn't just flirting. This wasn't just maybe anymore. This was real. Confirmed. Cold and brutal. I wanted to scream, to burst through that door and slap them both. But instead, I turned on my camera. I recorded the time, the address, even zoomed in on his car in her driveway. It wasn't just about heartbreak anymore. It was about power. About truth. About making sure no one ever told me, "You're being dramatic again." But nothing could have prepared me for what I found when I walked into that apartment the next day, unannounced. The next morning, I didn't even bother texting. I woke up, threw on jeans, tied my hair back, and drove straight to Natalie's apartment. No warning. No plan. Just a burning ache in my chest and a camera roll full of proof. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel the entire way there. I wasn't sure what I was going to say. I just knew I had to see them. I needed to look them in the eye and ask them what the hell they thought they were doing. I deserved at least that. When I got there, I didn't knock. I used the spare key she'd given me months ago. Just in case, she'd said. And the moment I stepped inside, I was hit with the scent of his cologne. Not strong but unmistakable. It was his. The air felt thick with guilt, like I could feel their betrayal clinging to the walls. They were sitting on her couch. Together. Natalie's legs were curled under her, just like that night. Aaron had his arm on the back of the couch, a little too close to her shoulder. Their faces went pale the second they saw me, like someone had pressed pause on their lives. Natalie blinked fast, like she was trying to convince herself she wasn't hallucinating. Aaron stood up abruptly, stammering some excuse that I didn't even process. I just looked at her. "You lied to me," I said. My voice didn't shake. I surprised myself. Natalie opened her mouth, but no sound came out. "Remember when you said you'd never do that to someone? That you couldn't? That it was disgusting?" I asked. "Did you believe that when you said it, or were you lying even then?" She finally spoke, and I wish she hadn't. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "We just connected. You and Aaron were drifting apart." "No," I cut her off. "Don't you dare blame this on me." And then Aaron, of all people, had the audacity to step in. "We didn't plan this, okay? Just happened. We didn't want to hurt you." I laughed. A short, bitter, choking laugh. "Didn't want to hurt me? You think sneaking behind my back, lying to my face, making me question my own sanity, you think that doesn't hurt?" There was nothing left to say after that. I dropped the spare key on her coffee table and walked out. I didn't slam the door. I didn't scream. I just left because in that moment I realized something far more painful than betrayal. They were never sorry. After that day I went silent. I didn't post. I didn't text. I didn't answer calls, not even from my mom, who kept asking if I was okay. I wasn't, but I couldn't explain it. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the why. Why her? Why now? Why like this? I kept turning it over in my head, like if I just thought hard enough, I'd figure it out. But the real answer didn't come until a week later, when I got a message from someone I hadn't talked to in almost a year, Liam, Aaron's old roommate. It was simple. Just a screenshot, a Facebook memory, a photo of Aaron, Natalie, and me. But then he added a message. Hey, this might be weird, but I always thought something was off between those two. Back when we all lived near campus, I caught them hugging in the kitchen at 2 a.m. Thought I was drunk. Maybe I wasn't. I felt like throwing up. So I dug deeper. I went through old photos, comments, tags. And I saw it. Little signs that didn't mean anything before. Now they screamed at me. Inside jokes that didn't involve me. Glances across the table. Natalie calling him my other half in a caption once. I thought it was a joke. Now, not so much. And then the worst part. I found an old group video from 3 years ago. We were playing Truth or Dare at a beach house. The dare? Kiss someone you'd never admit you have a crush on. Natalie laughed, blushed, and kissed me on the cheek, then immediately looked at Aaron. For too long. And he looked back. That's when it hit me. This didn't just happen. This wasn't some recent emotional connection or late-night accident. This had been brewing for years. Maybe they were too scared to act on it. Or maybe they just didn't care enough about me to stop. I wasn't the third wheel now. People always say that time heals everything. But they never tell you what to do while you're waiting for the healing to kick in. For days after everything came out, I just existed. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I felt empty. Like my body was there, walking around brushing its teeth, replying OL to texts, but I wasn't there. Not really. The version of me that trusted people, that believed in loyalty, that thought my best friend and my boyfriend were safe spaces, she was gone. But here's the thing. The more I sat in that silence, the more I listened to it. The more I started hearing myself again. Not the girl who was betrayed. Not the girl who needed answers. But the woman who deserved better. So I started rebuilding. Piece by piece. I deleted their photos. Not out of rage, but because I didn't want ghosts in my gallery. I left the group chat. I went back to the gym. I painted again, something I hadn't done in months. I booked a solo trip to the mountains for a weekend and left my phone on airplane mode. I stood at the edge of a cliff trail and screamed until my lungs burned. And then I laughed, because it felt so damn good to finally release it. And life? It moved on. I heard through a friend that Natalie and Aaron tried making it work. But the sparkle faded quickly. Apparently, he couldn't keep his eyes off other girls, even when she was right next to him. And she started posting those passive-aggressive Instagram stories. Don't lose a diamond while chasing glitter kind of vibes. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. Then one night he messaged me. I made a huge mistake. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. I still love you. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering over the reply button. But I didn't write back. Not because I didn't have anything to say, I had so much to say. But because the person I'd become didn't need to explain her worth to someone who threw it away like spare change. I blocked him. And her. And just like that, the final tie snapped. So yes, she said she'd never do that. She swore it. Looked me in the eyes and promised. And then she did it twice. Once behind my back. And again when she let me hurt without saying a word. But you know what? That pain became my fire. That betrayal? My reset button. She taught me everything I needed to know, not about love but about myself. Now I don't need closure. I am the closure. And I sleep just fine at night, knowing they probably don't.